Welcome back to my channel. I'm Vonnie from Vombu Furniture Designs, and this time I've got this lovely little vintage cupboard, and I haven't quite decided at this stage what I'm going to do, but it's going to be a huge makeover. These vintage pieces always need some kind of repair from being worn out and the veneer coming away. So first I check if it's peeling off or if it's just chipped, and then some dodgy repairs sometimes need to be redone. And then I go around the whole piece with some wood putty and fill in cracks and crevices and knocks and dents and where veneer is peeled off. And I also putty up the old knob holes, as at this stage I don't know where I'm going to put a new handle. And I might use this time to consider what style I'm going to do, like a smooth finish or a grungy finish. I don't know at this stage. I do know that I'm going to remove these little legs and replace them with something else. When all the putty is dry, I'll give it a sand, just in case I do want a smooth finish. And then of course it gets a good scrub all over, and I like to use methylated spirits because it gets rid of dust and greasy residue and it dries quickly. Now I'm still not quite sure what I'm doing design wise, so what I'm doing is I'm applying a primer on the inside, and I'm using a Unique Options Undercover, which is a dark primer that looks great under dark and bright colours. I finally decided what I was going to do, and I've been wanting to do this for ages. This is a placemat of mine. It's an Anna Chandler design, and I love the colours and I love all the patterns. So I'm going to do a mixed media look with some printed papers, some Mint by Michelle tissue papers, some spare transfers that I've got, and some stamps out of my stash. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the whole piece, and I'm using Mint by Michelle Mint Grip mixed with some Saltwash with a bit of texture in there, just to add a bit of texture all over the piece. And now I'm just using a spatula to flatten out some of those peaks, make it look a bit more random. Okay, I'm starting the design on the door of the cabinet, and first up I'm going to use a bit of a Mint by Michelle tissue paper. This one is called Yellow Chinoiserie, and it is not the decoupage paper, but I'm applying it in the same kind of manner that I usually do, using my tool, which you'll see now, and I've got it in a little plastic bag, but I've also got a glove on my hand, which helps me push the paper into and over all that texture that I applied. Next, I need to just decide where I'm going to place all these lovely bits of paper. Now I've got an idea of the placement of the paper. I'm planning to make a kind of a frame, a patchwork frame around the tissue paper. So I'm just tearing it up because I want it to look a bit ragged. I'm pasting all the paper on with PVA wood glue. And then I'm sanding off all the excess. And now I'm sealing it with some polyurethane top coat. I'm going to do some stamping around the edges, and this particular stamp is a redesigned stamp, but I can't remember what set it came from. But what I'm using is my, I'm applying some Sloan Chalk Paint All White with my brayer, and I'm stamping this all around the edges. And I'm using another redesigned stamp to go around the inner frame. Then I decided to go over the original stamp with some ink, some dark grey ink, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Over the years, I've been hoarding all the scraps and offcuts of transfers from previous projects, because I knew they'd come in handy for a project in the future, and this particular one is making a really lovely addition to this background. Now I'm adding a bit of plant foliage, but I've lost my tool. Yep, that is the tool. I'm always losing it. This is one of my favorite iron off design transfers. The set's called Redoubt, and it's a bunch of gorgeous, rustic, really shabby chic roses, and it's just the perfect size for this project. Then I thought the bottom corner needed something else, so I've added a bird. I'm sealing it all now with Annie Sloan's clear wax in preparation for some dark wax. Now I'm adding the dark wax, and I'm coming in rather grungy, but because I have clear wax beforehand, I can wipe off the excess. I can take back as much as I need to achieve the right amount of grunginess that I would like. I think it looks pretty good so far. Then I thought I'd add some little quotes that personally had some significant meaning to me. My favourite being perfectly imperfect, of course. And I'm just tearing them up, and I'm going to paste them on with some PVA wood glue. And adding a dash of dark wax just to make them look a bit aged. I have done all the panels now. I've done the sides, very similar technique to the front door, but I've added different transfers. This all took quite a bit of time, but I actually really enjoyed the whole process. Now I've sorted out the outer design, I can paint the inside, and I've decided to use Annie Sloan's Empress Silk, which really matches the red roses. and I give the inside a couple of coats of this. The outside I've decided definitely has to be green, and I've chosen Annie Sloan's Amsterdam Green. It's a really lovely deep dark green, and I'm going to do this all over as a first coat. Then I thought, let's make this a bit interesting and blend in some Florence Green. This is one of my most favourite Annie Sloan Chalk Paint colours, and it blends into the Amsterdam Green so easily. I'm bringing the two colours together with separate brushes, then with another brush I'm stippling them together where they join, and they blend in so easily. Now I'm coming in with my carbide scraper to knock off some of that textured peaks that we created before, just to give a bit of a chippy rustic look. I'll do this all over the piece. Annie Sloan Chalk Paint needs to be sealed, so I'm using her clear wax all over the piece. I love how the wax just makes the colours pop. Before I go on, I need to put a handle on so I can open the door, and I've chosen this lovely antique style drop handle, and all I needed to do was just drill a hole and pop the screw in. Now I'm adding some dark wax, and at first I'm just putting it in the crevices and around the hinges and around the handle, but I do end up adding a little bit more just to give it a little bit more dimension. Now I can put the new legs on. And I paint them up the same way I did the base, adding some white texture first and then adding a couple of layers of Amsterdam Green. Then we're going to clear wax and add some black wax this time. Well, it started out as a bit of an experiment, and I have to say that I love how it's all come together. I love all the colours, I love the rustic appearance, I love all the greens, I love the papers, I love the patterns in the papers, I love the stamping, I love the transfers. I just love the whole piece. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that this has maybe been some inspiration for you, and if you'd like to see any more of my work, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'd love you to comment, like, share. Thank you so much for watching.